So, the question, where am I going to go with this? Who knows? I just don't know anymore. Like, I used to watch TV, and guess what? These shit shows that are on YouTube aren't much different to the shit shows I was watching on television. They're all pretend. It's just a shit show. They're not even good episodes of a show, really. You know, and it's getting to the point where the people that are as dumb as a box of rocks are making more sense than these supposed enlightened ones. You know, I've always been wary of an enlightened one, because if you supposedly think you're enlightened, well, you're fucking way off. Just saying. But, you know, I just don't know what's the point in running these channels anymore. It's like, I just can't be sitting here waffling shit to you for an hour for no real reason when you could spend an hour looking at something else. You know, I never came here for that, but it's, at the moment, it just feels like I'm a bit isolated due to, you know, people who are in this field or into this movement who come out and pull the rug out from underneath you, and then you make such a, you know, impacting statement contradicting them, and instead of even acknowledging it, they just ignore you. You know, I've got videos up there to contradict somebody's whole fucking tirade of shit that they've put up for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it doesn't even get acknowledged, and they just talk around it. And it's like, well, who's ghosting who, and who's avoiding who, and, you know, especially when you slap it right in their face and they still don't acknowledge it, but then they'll go and attack these sideshows as such that are out there that haven't even done anything to argue, but just spend hours of words writing comments back to them for no reason. When, I don't know, I'm not a big, giant comment writer. I like to make it short and sweet, so you can take anything from it, but at least acknowledge it. And it doesn't matter which channel it is. You know, there's something there for everyone if they want to look into it. But, you know, instead I get attacked by putting a question up, and it's like, you know, I put a question. Who is this person that they claim to be? And they go, oh, it is that person. And I go, well, actually, it's not. If you do your research, you find out that's not his real name. He's pretending. He's an actor. You know, he doesn't represent. He'll tell you to stop paying your taxes, not to comply or anything like that. He'll be all over that for you. But when it comes to the crunch, he's not putting his name on the table. How do you get around this supposed globe or planet or whatever you want to fucking call it? You know, how do you get around through visas and stuff with a fake name and you're not representing? You've obviously got a real name, and it's been hush-hushed on the internet because nobody can find it. It's a bit like Neil Mitchell from 3AW. Try and find information on him. There's very little. Not much at all. Just like these other characters. You know, and then I saw one person, he's going on about, you know, people have pretend names and all that, and then the person he's about to have on his show is a person that has a fake name. I'm confused. Are they all working together to just dumbify us? We're just going around in circles. There's agitators. There's, you know, they're out there taking up your time, arguing with you over nothing. You know, you can't be that blind unless you've got a reason to support certain people. You've obviously got a motive or an ulterior motive there to give you the drive to even want to continue pursuing this shit. So now it's like I spend all my time analysing these people, looking for the holes in their story. And guess what? Most of the time there's plenty of holes in the story. But try and bring them up and they just get silenced. And you go, really? People can't see that? Why? What's going on? You know, why has YouTube taken such a personal vendetta upon my channels and removed my channel and videos of the like, but in the same time put up the same, other people put the same video up with more more footage and stuff in there, but nothing happens to them. And they take them down on their own accord and then make out like YouTube removed them and they're being silenced, and they haven't been silenced at all. There's no silencing going on. It's only happening on little channels. You know, people getting, like, jumping ship so quickly. Like, all of a sudden, you went to a place and you saw these supposed witnesses, which aren't witnesses once you actually interview them and speak to them and listen to what they're saying. They saw something, but they weren't even there. They were driving through. So how much did they see? They're not witnesses. And now you're going to base your whole story on these pretend witnesses. You know, there was another witness I saw, like, it's like they all got together for the day. It was like a meeting of a bunch of parole people that had to go and do community service down at this particular building, because they didn't know each other. They'd crossed paths maybe once or twice. I reckon they all looked like crims to me anyway, or they were being held there to carry out something to manipulate the minds of others. But I'm not allowed to entertain any other ideas than the narrative that's forced upon us, because I'm not allowed to question anything. And the more I look into it, the more questions I have. Like, why would you kill people? That would cost too much money. You know, like that. Then people follow it up and then say if there is foul play, well, then that heightens your money even. And so it's better to go and twist the narrative, and obviously some people out there are very bad actors, and then other people have to be brought in to cover their asses and try and make out there's something else going on when there isn't. Oh, look at this, but don't look at that. Not once has anybody, with all their observating, have they seen the sandwich board in one of the shots there, with all the framing and frame by frame analysis. Nobody knows about the sandwich board, really, and don't think it's of any significance. Where it is and why it's there and how far out it is on the road, and nobody's seen it. You know, I question all you analysts out there. I don't think you're very good. I think you might, you're analness instead of analysis. That's the wordplay there. Because you're just talking shit. Because, you know, like, oh, well, all of a sudden fucking holes are appearing in windscreens all of a sudden 2 weeks after the event without filters. Come on. Stop being retarded. Or stop playing the game and stop trying to get people to call out what you want them to call out. Because that's the trap. If they go along with your narrative, this is where you get called out, because you become a hater of another group of people. This is a big game, and obviously they're very bad actors. Very, very bad. And that's why you need to have damage control to cover their shitty story. And I don't need to say any more about this, because it's bullshit. And anybody out there that thinks that these people that are saying that particular narrative are legit, well, they need to do more research into the character that they're taking their gospel from. Because he is not gospel. He's a liar, and he always has been. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, I've got a good memory, so I can go back into my vaults and find plenty of stuff to contradict these clowns. Especially this one. This guy tried to manipulate at one point a guy that likes to submerge himself in quicksand to give the illusion he dies in the quicksand. He milked it, this person, and he made out a big hoo-ha. Oh, this is a sign of the times, people. This is where people are at. But if he had done a little bit more research, he would have found that it was bullshit. But he didn't. And then when I put him up on it, guess what? He deleted me. We all know who I'm talking about. We're not stupid. I hope not. Some of us are. Some of you are. I don't know. But anyway, do I need to tell you any more? I will if you want, but I really can't be bothered. Because what's the point? I get 3 views. So, and it's like preaching to the converted. So, yeah. You know what, everybody? They can all go get fucked. Cheers.